Do you know the real secret to taming a hellhound? Beat it.
Most indie animated pilots don't get 1 million views. Most of them get 10,000 if they are lucky. A typical life cycle of being uploaded quietly, shared a few times on Twitter, and then forgotten within a week. So when you see a 10-minute pilot from a brand new Australian studio hit 1 million views in just 48 hours, you have to ask yourself some serious questions. What are the succeeding factors? Well, some may call it luck. Some may say it's the algorithm, but the algorithm doesn't just find things randomly. Someone has to build the runway first, and this is why we're breaking down how Studio Cycle, a remote team of freelancers built around one Australian creator, engineered one of the most successful indie launches in recent memory, and what every upcoming indie animator needs to learn from it. This is the real reason Heathens blew up.
Sweet plan, right?
Heathens is a dark fantasy action comedy about demon hunters in a fallen angelic underworld. The pilot episode Hellhounders follows 3 demon characters, Aura, Axel and Carlos, and runs about 8 minutes. It premiered on Studio Cycle's YouTube channel on November 15th, 2025. The studio behind it was created and directed by Neda alongside co-producer Morgan Flint. At its peak, Studio Cycle's team grew to somewhere between 60 to 80 freelancers working remotely. Industry veterans pulled from other indie hits like Hazbin Hotel and Mother Drones, among others. That's an impressive roster, but the animators alone doesn't explain exactly what happened, because in mid-2024, before a single episode existed, Studio Cycle had roughly 3,000 followers per platform. No strong branding, no finished animation to show anyone. They were by every metric nobody. 3 million views later, the question isn't whether the show is good. The question is, how did anyone even find it in the first place? And the answer starts not in an animation program, but in a strategy meeting.
Are you sure we can't just do that again?
Before production had even started, Studio Cycle made a decision that most indie animators never make. They hired a marketing firm. Specifically, they brought on Ashley Studio to guide their promotional strategy. That single choice separated Heathens from the overwhelming majority of indie projects that are made with enormous love but watched by almost nobody. Think about what this means for a second. This is a bootstrapped indie team. Every dollar matters, and they chose to spend some of those dollars not on animation but on branding. They built a visual identity from scratch, a cohesive color palette, a logo, a typography, a consistent tonal voice that matched the show's energy across every platform they touched. From Kickstarter graphics to social media banners to the thumbnail of the pilot itself, everything felt like it existed inside the same world, not like a student project but like a product itself. Morgan Flint put it plainly: their goal wasn't just to fund a pilot, it was to make their community feel like they were winning alongside the studio. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in this story. In 2024, on Indie Animation Day, Studio Cycle launched their Kickstarter. Their goal was 60,000 Australian dollars, deliberately modest, not because they couldn't ask for more, but because the point of the campaign was not just money. The campaign closed at 69,474 Australian dollars from 556 backers, equivalent to 116% of their actual goal. The Kickstarter was never just a fundraiser, it was the first major community event. It launched on a trending hashtag. The rewards: art books, plush hellhound toys, enamel pins, limited posters that weren't just perks, they were merchandises that backers would post about, wear and photograph. Every single reward was like a walking advertisement for a show that hasn't even come out yet. Morgan recalled making the decision to keep the goal conservative because with indie projects, the scariest thing is that they might not happen. The team wanted to hit their targets, feel the win together with the community, and deliver. They under-promised and they over-delivered, and that comes from feeling like the creators actually respect you. Converted backers to advocates. Now, content strategy is the make or break for most indie animators. For over a year before the pilot dropped, they ran a structured content calendar, not sporadic posts, not occasional updates. A calendar that featured regular short clips, animated GIFs, voice line drops, behind the scenes work in progress shots, and lo-fi music mix on YouTube. The trailer alone, released in April 2024, had over 424,000 views by February 2025, which shows the audience was already building up before the show was even finished. On November 15, 2025, the pilot dropped. Within 48 hours, 1 million views. A week later, Studio Cycle hosted a live Q&A on YouTube and Twitch. The creators talking directly to the fans, answering questions, being present. That stream, now archived, didn't just reward existing fans, it converted curious viewers into community members. It gave people a reason to stay. And to top it up, a fan art contest was hosted weeks after the pilot released, pulling artists among the general audience, which generated thousands of submissions across all platforms. Winners got original art prints, plushes, and a $50 cash prize. The contest created FOMO, it spread the brand, and it did all that using artwork that the fans made themselves for free out of genuine love for the project. That is community-driven marketing working exactly as intended. And this is the part that the algorithm discourse always glosses over. Yes, YouTube recommended the video. Yes, momentum matters, but algorithms respond to signals like watch time, engagement, shares, and comments. Those signals were already pinged. The community had been trained for over a year to engage, so when the video went up, they did. None of this means Heathens is a perfect template. The team acknowledged openly that the production was extremely difficult. The pilot took 3 years from early development to release date. 60 to 80 freelancers working remotely across time zones is not a suitable system for most people to replicate. And a marketing partner like Astro Studio costs money that many indie animators simply don't have access to. For every studio cycle, there are dozens of teams that executed the same strategy with fraction of the reach. Community building takes time, and time is one thing that most indie animators are already running out of. But the lesson isn't hire a marketing firm. The lesson is more smaller and more feasible than that. The lesson is your audience doesn't owe you their attention just because you made something good. Heathens is a well-made pilot. The animation is confident, the designs are strong, and the genre is exactly what the internet is hungry for right now. But good animation gets ignored every single week. What Studio Cycle understood and what most indie animators refuse to accept until it's too late is that making the thing and launching the thing are two completely separate skills. And if you only develop one of them, you already know how the story ends. They started building the community in 2022 and they released the pilots in 2025. That's 3 years of showing up before the moment everyone remembered as overnight success. If you're an indie animator watching this, I genuinely hope that something here was useful. Not because making great animation isn't enough, but because you deserve for people to actually see it. I'm also an animator myself who wishes to make a show one day in the future, but while I'm still broke and hopeful, I'm telling the stories of my predecessors. Thanks again for watching, and if you're waiting, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to really help me to help this channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.